Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store. Here with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, it's been a while, but we're here in Birmingham for a Matchroom sort of community day. How important is it that we have these days and give back to the community? And yourself, Sol Dacre's come down here. It's important.
Massive for a number of reasons. I mean, firstly, like even from a selfish reason, it's like a soul cleansing experience to come down here with all the shit of professional boxing, and just to realise why you fell in love with the sport in the first place. Secondly, it's important to make the kids feel good, give them the opportunity to meet fighters. And thirdly, it's about raising awareness and making people realise how important these places are to the community. Yeah, I think people are probably bored of me saying discipline, respect, manners, physical health, mental health, all that kind of stuff. But this was, I mean, the atmosphere in here tonight, was unbelievable. And you know that every kid that was in here tonight goes home feeling good about themselves. No negativity, no reading rubbish on social media, no one being nasty to them on, I was going to say MSN, that's really shit, WhatsApp. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just about being part of a community, being part of a family, and getting out, exercising and learning. And I'm a big believer that these kind of places can change the direction of people's lives. It's not just about becoming a champion. It's just about being positive and about moving in the right direction. And like one session down here, one meeting with a fighter or someone can change the way you live your life. And I think if the government and politicians actually look closely at these places, they'd realise that a lot of the kids in here, if they weren't in here, would be out potentially up to no good.
Yeah, hopefully one day they get government back into fun places like this, because it's what keeps it going. Look, Eddie, you mentioned negativity. We've always got to bring certain things up to you. The news dropped unconfirmed reports regarding Alycia Baumgardner and potentially failing a test. Can you shed any light on this situation?
There will, not actually at the moment, but there will be a statement from us today, which I just spoke to Peter. Obviously, there's a lot of issues around confidentiality, etc. And we will issue a statement with all the details later today. That's all I can tell you at the moment.
Okay. I know obviously you can't go into it because of the legal situation, but how disappointing is it that we're seeing this again? You must feel like it's Groundhog Day a little bit.
Yeah, but only because we're the only promotional company that are consistently testing. So when you do 30 shows a year and you're spending fortunes on testing, you're going to get more adverse findings. I don't see any questions being asked of other promoters, are you doing drug testing on this show? Do you know what I mean? And the answer mostly, especially for international fighters in the UK, is no. And the answer in America on most shows is also no. But we are making a big investment to make the sport safer. And unfortunately, you are going to find adverse findings. We've seen, recently over the last year, I think we've had 3 now in a year, which is, it doesn't sound like a lot, but obviously they're high-profile cases. So it's important that we keep the sport as safe as possible, and those details will be released later.
Okay, let's move on. Anthony Joshua came back, 7th round knockout last week. We saw slight improvements under Derek James, but obviously he needs further time to gel with him a little bit more. I saw comments from Tony Bellew and David Hay, even recently Johnny Nelson saying not for Deontay Wilder next, and AJ saying he'd like to get back out a couple of times this year. Where are we at with this? Is he going to fight someone in between Wilder, or is it straight for Deontay next?
There's a meeting going on right now with Frank Smith and Skills Challenge in London. Our intention is to fight Deontay Wilder next. Obviously, those conversations have got to progress in a manner that means we'll get the fight done. There's no other fight that we're looking at. There's no other opponent that we're looking at other than Deontay Wilder. But the one thing that AJ's really enjoying is activity. So if we can't fight Deontay Wilder, I think he will fight in December. But for us, like I said, only one conversation, which is Deontay Wilder. I thought it was a good performance. I thought 5 days notice against Alanis, always going to be tricky. It was one of the knockouts of the year, and I think he can beat Deontay Wilder. But if we can't get that fight, he will stay active. But absolutely, that is the fight we want.
Have we got an update on Conor Benn since news came out a few weeks ago? We've sort of not added anything else. Is he actively trying to seek a licence in this country to box? What's going on?
Not at the moment. I mean, he's already licensed, Conor Benn, internationally. So he can at the moment fight internationally, and he can also fight in the UK because he's not suspended. However, the board and UCAD do have an opportunity to appeal, probably given the situation. I mean, I guess they will to try and drag it out again, but disappointing if they do. But he's been through everything so much. I'm sure another couple of weeks won't be the end of the world, but still our intentions for him to box this year 100%. We'd like that to be in England, in the UK, but if it's internationally, so be it.
One thing that always gets sort of thrown at you, especially from the other side of the pond and the American, you've made strides in that market, but there's not been that, you would say, quote-unquote megastar, a pay-per-view star. I spoke to Amo Williams last night. He says, look, I'm primed, I'm ready to go, I'm on the cusp of that. Who do you see as the next sort of pay-per-view star from the American side of things, from Matchroom USA?
I think Amo Williams has got a great opportunity. He's fighting Steve Rolls on September 23rd on a great show in Orlando. I think Diego Pacheco's been one of the standout fighters. 6'4", super middleweight, knocking everyone out. Huge fan base building in Los Angeles as well. And I think Ray Ford as well. See what happens with Wood Warrington, but it's likely he's going to fight Komatov maybe for the world title. I think he's a tremendous talent. Mark Castro, another great fighter as well. To become a pay-per-view, we've represented the two biggest pay-per-view stars in the world, Anthony Joshua and Canelo Alvarez. They're freaks of nature. They don't come around very often. And outside of them, still, Tyson Fury, but there isn't really any pay-per-view standalone stars. Even Tank really needs a dance partner. But I think we've got a tremendous young team in America, but give them time to go out and win world titles.
Okay, and coming on to, obviously, we saw a lot. I know you went to Fight Club with Gareth. There was comments about Jay Opetaia's situation. I think it confused a lot of us before. Was he with you? Were you co-promoting? You answered the questions on that. You said you sent an email to Boxer Online saying, has your email been hacked because of what's that? Have you heard anything back?
Yeah, a lot today saying please don't say anything else. I think they're very embarrassed by the situation, and it's very embarrassing for them. And also, if you're a fighter like Richard Riakporhe, you're thinking, what the hell's going on? Yesterday we were accused of just disrupting everything that Boxer does and trying not to make fights. They want to work with everybody. Well, if they want to work with everybody, why pull out a purse bids and say you've got another fight, that's why you pulled out, and then on the same day send an email to my co-promoter saying please don't tell, keep this confidential between us, but can we make the Riakporhe fight? Well, after you pulled out of the purse bids, I mean, sir, first of all, you're out. See, like Fraser Clark, you're out of the running. So firstly, you can't make the fight. Secondly, I thought you had another fight. Thirdly, you're just telling porky pies, like I said yesterday. So I just wanted to clear that up. I know they were very embarrassed about the situation and didn't want me to say it, but I'm not going to have people say that and not tell the truth, which is you didn't want to bid because you either didn't have the money or you were afraid of your fighter fighting on another platform. So don't pretend that you want to work with everybody when you're pulling out of purse bids on the day of the purse bid for imaginary fights. Now they're scrambling to try and make a Gulamarin fight. But the reality is they're losing opportunities for their fighters. And some promoters out there at the moment are putting fighters in difficult positions legally. There's cases where fighters go through really difficult situations that have actually lost them fights because of bad decisions that have been made for them. And this one just baffles me again. I don't know if it's just incompetence or madness, but look, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I wish them all the best. I just had to go on and just just give them a little one of them and say, boys, you can't play it like that with me. So best of luck, move on, and I hope Richard Riakporhe gets a shot. Jay Opetaia's next fight will be announced shortly.
Eddie, appreciate your time.
Cheers.